Love gingerbread Christmas decor? Then you're going to love today's charming DIYs. Hi friends, I'm Katie from Lady Red Crafting, and we're crafting beautiful gingerbread-inspired Christmas decorations that are easy to make and perfect for Christmas in July. So let's get crafting. Head into your Dollar Tree and pick up one of these adorable little tea sets in the toy section. Yes, tea set in the toy section. We're going to transform this into some beautiful little ornaments for our tree. So now that I have all of our pieces out of our box, I'm going to take these and put them onto a paintable surface. I'm just going to be using some painter's tape and I'm going to tape them down. Next, I'm going to take these outside and I'm going to be using some spray paint. And I have found that this spray paint is the perfect color for making gingerbread. Warm caramel from Rust-Oleum. And once we're satisfied with our spray paint on that side, I do flip everything over after they've dried and done another coat on the bottom side of all of our pieces. Off camera, I did try a few different paint pens that I had at the house, and the paint pens that I had were a little bit thicker than the details on these small little tea sets. So without wanting to go and buy a fine tip paint pen, I decided that I would use what I had at home. So I'm going to be using a chalk pen to do the details on these pieces. And all I'm doing is I'm taking that pen and I'm tracing over the details that you can see from the tea set originally. This is going to give it such a fun gingerbread look without having to think about what you want to draw on your piece. And this is going to take a little time to do all the detail work, but it's well worth it in the end. And I'm just going to keep repeating this, going over all of our little pieces with that chalk pen. And once you're done doing all of that detail work, I'm going to take these outside and seal my pieces in using Rust-Oleum Chalked Matte Clear. Now, once these have dried, I'm going to take my pieces back inside, and I'm using some E6000 glue. We're going to add a pendant bail to our little cup here. And if you haven't used these before, these are amazing little hooks that you can use for making ornaments. They are also a jewelry making piece. I will put a link for them down in my description box. I get mine on Amazon and you can get them in some different colors. So for this one, once we have our little bail in place there, I'm going to go ahead and let that dry for a few minutes. And then using my E6000 glue again, I'm going to add a little bit to the bottom part of this cup. And we're going to add that to the saucer. And I wanted this little cup to look like there was something inside. So I am using one of these little pom-poms and a hot glue. And we're going to hot glue that right inside of our cup. I'm not going to press it all the way down, just enough to where it looks like it's popping out of the cup and looks like some whipping cream coming out. Then I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue to the bottom of the spoon, and I'm going to stick that spoon in there so you see the decorative part coming out of the cup. Next, I'm going to add a little red ribbon to our hook and tie that in place. And now our first little ornament is ready to display. I just love how this turns out. Let's go ahead and make the teapot next. So for the teapot, all we need to do is snap that lid right back on, and it snaps into place really nicely, and I didn't feel like I needed any glue for that. After that, I just go ahead and add a little red ribbon to the handle so we have a way of hanging our teapot. And it's just that easy. This adorable little gingerbread tea set is ready to display on your tree or to be given as gifts. I just love how this little tea set turns out. It's so much fun making gingerbread themed Christmas items out of different things that you wouldn't expect would be the most amazing pieces for your set. Maybe you have some leftover tiles from a project, or you just head over to the home store and grab a set of tiles. We're going to take these tiles and I'm going to deconstruct them. I'm going to remove 4 of them for this project, and I'm just using a little razor blade to take these apart. Now let's take 4 of these cute little tiles and we're going to place them onto a paintable surface. This is just a piece of cardboard with a little bit of painter's tape. This will help keep them from moving around while you paint them. And the paint I'm going to be using is multi-surface from Folk Art, and this is the color Coffee Latte. And I feel like this is a really good color for doing gingerbread. So here's what our little tiles are going to look like after 2 coats of paint. Now we're going to grab out some white puffy paint. Next, we're just going to take that puffy paint and we're going to frost our little snowflake tiles. I'm just drawing out some really cute snowflake patterns on the tiles, and I used the internet to do a quick search, and I looked at some cookies and different things so that I had some ideas of how I wanted to design my snowflakes. So with these puffy paints, you do have to let them dry for a little while. I let them sit for about 6 hours before they were dry. Once they were completely dry, I was able to flip them over. And now what we are going to be doing is we're going to be adding some little hangers to our tiles. And if you haven't seen these before, they are called pendant brads. So to attach these, I'm going to be using E6000. And I'm just going to add a little bit of E6000 to the top of each one of these tiles. Next, I'm going to go ahead and just set down each one of these little brads right on top. Now, after about a half an hour and everything is dry, let's take a look at what our ornaments look like. Wow, these are starting to look so cute. Let's go ahead and add a little hanger to each one. I'm just going to add a small satin ribbon to each little snowflake to hang. Now for one last final embellishment, I'm going to be adding just a little bit of hot glue to the top of my ornament here and adding a beautiful little white bow. And we'll just add that to each one of these ornaments. And that's all there is to it. These adorable little ornaments are ready to display. I just love these gingerbread snowflakes. These are so cute and easy to make. This is a perfect project that you can do in a group setting. You could do this with children or seniors, and I think you would have so much fun, and these would look beautiful on your tree. And if you need help planning your next craft party, sign up for the Lady Red Crafting newsletter and you will get a free craft party checklist. The link is down in my description box below. So I absolutely love these wood frames, and I get them from Walmart, and they're such a great blank to use for different crafts. So I'm going to start out by removing the back side of this frame here, and this is the insert inside of it, and I'm going to go ahead and take the outside of this frame and set that aside for a few minutes. We're going to start by taking that first insert of the frame, and I'm going to paint that with some chalkboard paint from Folk Art. And I am going to do 2 coats of the chalkboard paint just to make sure I have a nice thick coat on there. Now, while that is drying, I am going to go back to the frame that we set aside earlier, and I'm going to place this down onto a paintable surface, and using my nutmeg brown from Apple Barrel, I'm going to coat this frame a few times, probably 3 coats across the front and the back side of this frame. Now going back to our frame insert, I have this silk screen that I found on Amazon last year, and I haven't had a chance to use it yet, so I'm really excited to use it. And this says baking through the snow. And we're just going to place that right on the center of our piece. Next, I'm going to grab my chalk paste and vintage lace and my squeegee, and I'm going to go ahead and squeegee that chalk paste over the top of our silk screen. And if you haven't used a silk screen stencil before, these are great. They're self-adhesive, and then when you're done using them, you're able to wash them in warm soapy water and reuse them again over and over again. And once you are done adding that chalk paste, you just peel this little stencil right off, and it makes this most beautiful little piece. Now, while that dries, let's go back to our frame. Now that the frame has completely dried, I'm going to go ahead and grab my Apple Barrel white paint pen. Next, I'm going to just take that pen and start drawing some different designs to make it look very festive and fun for a gingerbread frame. So now that we've added some gingerbread touches to our frame, let's go ahead and add back in our centerpiece to the frame. And once we have that secured into place, we'll go ahead and flip over our frame, and let's add some final touches. So I found these adorable little peppermint candies, and they're fake candies on Amazon. So I went ahead and I'm going to add a few of these to our frame. I'm going to hot glue them into each corner of the frame to give it a little extra sweetness. Next, I'm going to take this little wood spoon that I had gotten from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to hot glue that right to the corner of our frame for the final touch. And wow, I just love how this piece turns out. This is such a fun and easy piece that you can make for the Christmas season. And I feel like this is definitely something you could do for a Christmas crafting party, and everybody could decorate the frame however they like to take home. While browsing through the Dollar Tree, I found this beautiful little lantern in the candle section. We're going to take this little lantern and transform it into something absolutely stunning and gingerbread themed. For our first step, we're going to take some blue painter's tape and we're going to tape off all of the little windows in the lantern. And I did find that using my little plastic craft knife really helped me get that blue painter's tape into all of the crevices on our lantern. This is going to make it so much nicer when we paint our piece. And now that our lantern is all prepped, we're going to take this outside and paint it with our Rust-Oleum warm caramel paint. This is the perfect paint for gingerbread. Now, once we have our lantern back inside, I'm going to reattach the little hook here on the top. I did disconnect that just for the painting purposes. Now we can go ahead and just remove all of that painter's tape. And now we have the perfect gingerbread lantern base ready to go and ready to be frosted. Let's start decorating. Now for our detail work, I am going to be using puffy paint for this, but you could also use a white paint pen if that is what you have on hand. And now all you need to do is decorate it how you see fit. I find this to be so much fun to do. Now, once you have your little lantern decorated, all we need to do is let this dry, and then it's ready to display. I absolutely love how this little gingerbread lantern turns out. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. I hope these gingerbread Christmas DIYs inspired you to create something beautiful this Christmas. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, please remember, craft more, stress less.